I walked home and sat on the edge of my bed. With a sigh, I reached up and pulled off my hijab. My ponytail spilled over my shoulder, and I absent-mindedly pulled at the end of it. Minutes passed. Maybe hours. I don't know. The porn blocker had a point. What the fuck was wrong with me? A knock on the front door startled me out of my malaise. It was Sabiha, an elderly neighbor who had taken it upon herself to absorb me into her family when I arrived in her apartment building months earlier without male protection. I didn't have much choice in the matter. Sabiha insisted that I eat dinner with her each night, and that I report my daily plans to her each morning. When she saw, to her horror, the collection of jeans in my bedroom, she even started to make clothes for me on her sewing machine. "Were you with a man?" Sabiha demanded as soon as she saw me. I smiled. It had been a while since someone had taken such a detailed interest in disciplining my choices. I didn't want Sabiha to worry about me, but it was a comfort that she did. "No, Auntie," I replied, shaking my head. "There was no man. I went to use the internet." Sabiha narrowed her eyes. "Okay," she said with a curt nod. "Get in the car. Bring some clothes. Enough for 2 days. Don't dress like an American." "Where are we going, Auntie?" I replied. "I have Arabic class on Saturday." At that point, Oman's weekend, like neighboring Saudi Arabia's, fell on Thursdays and Fridays. "Don't argue with me," Sabiha scolded. "Hurry!" That afternoon, we climbed into a tattered gray sedan with Sabiha's adult daughter and drove to a tiny village deep in the desert to visit their relatives. The village was another world, a place where goats were more common than cars and sun-dried mud walls were typical. That night, after the men disappeared into another room, the other women and I chatted in a jumbled mix of Arabic, Swahili, and English, and snacked on dates. But only in sets of odd numbers, such as 3 or 5, Sabiha reminded me, with a sharp rap on my knuckles when I reached for one too many, because that was the practice of the Prophet Muhammad. Finally, sometime after midnight, the other women set mats on the floor and settled down to sleep. I lay on my mat, stressed out. I was frustrated. I was awake. Soon, long, heavy breaths filled the room. The others were asleep. I stood up, grabbed a flashlight from my overnight bag, and pulled a long black abaya on over my pajamas. The door didn't have a lock. I slipped out into the village and walked down the dirt road as far as I could. Beyond the end of the road was the desert, and I kept walking. When I couldn't see any houses behind me, I stopped and passed my flashlight in a circle over the land. This seemed like a good place. Out here, no one would hear me scream. Years earlier, when I was in high school, I had developed a unique stress relief ritual. I was 16 at the time and reading A Midsummer Night's Dream. In it, a woman named Helena loves a man named Demetrius. No, Helena doesn't love Demetrius exactly. She craves him. Helena pursues Demetrius obsessively, while Demetrius, in turn, pursues Helena's childhood friend, Hermia. But unlike Helena, I didn't have a high school crush to pour my adolescent angst into. So I borrowed hers. One afternoon, I walked to the edge of my empty high school football field, took a deep breath, and screamed Demetrius's name for as long as I could. Into his name, I poured all of my fear, desire, anxiety, and grief. In the 4 years since, I'd developed the habit of yelling Demetrius during moments of stress. An occasional scream releases pent-up energy, and as for the word Demetrius, well, why not? It seemed no less appropriate than shit or fuck or any other word I might want to yell in a moment of frustration. After I yelled Demetrius at a college term paper and got an unexpected A, I even started to think of the ritual as a good luck charm. Demetrius was my 4-leaf clover. I hadn't yelled his name once in the months since I had moved to Oman. This night